Absolutely amazing. Welcome back to the third hour of the program, by the way. Absolutely amazing story over at The Guardian titled Pure Propaganda Inside Starbucks Anti-Union Tactics, about how they come after employees personally it's just, this is shocking stuff. On the line with us are Will Westlake, a barista and member of the National Organizing Committee of Starbucks Workers United in Buffalo, New York, and Maggie Carter, a barista and organizer in Knoxville, Tennessee. SBWorkersUnited.org is the website for the Starbucks Workers United, and SB Workers United is the Twitter handle, at SB Workers United. And Will and Maggie, welcome to both of you to the program. Let me start with Maggie. What's going on in Tennessee? How is the organizing going on there, and what kind of pushback are you getting from the company?
Of course. Well, thank you so much for having us here today. Yeah, the pushback from the company here in Knoxville has been absolutely overwhelming. They essentially have just really thrived off of division in the store, in my opinion. They've told people they're not going to be able to transfer, they're going to lose benefits that they love, and just things that are not characteristic of what union representation looks like. And it's just really unfortunate that this is the stance that they've taken against partners.
Yeah, it's a major business now, union busting, you know, and preventing unions, and it's just mind-boggling. Will Westlake, a barista and member of the National Organizing Committee of Starbucks Workers in Buffalo, New York. What's Buffalo? Were you the first? Am I remembering correctly that Buffalo was the first Starbucks to unionize in the United States?
Yeah, it was about 8 months ago in August that me and about 45 other coworkers wrote the original letter to Kevin Johnson saying that we wanted to have a union at Starbucks. And, you know, here we are 8 months later, and we have over 250 stores filed for elections, over 50 stores that have won their elections. And it's a national movement that's just kind of sweeping across the country. It's been overwhelming.
It absolutely is. It's a fine thing. Is Starbucks, in the face of this, have they backed down in their in their anti-union efforts?
Not at all. I mean, so the way that this campaign started was we asked Starbucks to have a fair election. You know, a pretty simple request. And the company, instead of responding to that letter and that ask, sent 200 managers from all across the country to Buffalo, New York, specifically to survey workers and to build an anti-union campaign to stop people from exercising their right to organize. And, you know, that has basically led us down a process that led us to today, where this week, the company announced a whole slate of new benefits, and they're saying we're only going to give this to the non-union stores. So every store that's waiting for an election, you need to vote no if you want to see any of this, which we know is totally illegal. And that's why today, actually, in Buffalo, we have a store that's on strike.
Wow. Wow. Good on you, standing up and fighting back. Maggie Carter, in Knoxville, what are those tactics that the company is using against you, and have you successfully unionized any stores in Tennessee?
Yes, actually, we were the first store to file back in December in the South, and we actually were the first store in the South to win back on March 29th, and we were certified as of April 4th. So we did win, and some of the tactics that we saw were really, you know, the use of captive audience meetings. And unfortunately, our captive audience meeting also gave COVID to multiple partners in our store, because one of the management members who attended both of those meetings tested positive the next day.
Oh, no.
So our store had to be shut down for 5 days as a result of that. And yeah, just really a lot of scare tactics, like Will was talking about, telling people they're going to, you know, lose benefits, they're going to lose their rights to transfer, and essentially just manipulating partners' goodwill in that sense, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you have any idea, Maggie, how much Starbucks has spent on these law firms and union busting companies? I realize it's a billion-dollar industry in the United States. We've got billionaires and very, very profitable corporations spending a fortune to keep their employees from having rights or decent wages and benefits. Any idea what Starbucks is paying for this?
I mean, it has to be millions at this point. They're using Littler Mendelson, which is one of the most renowned union busting firms in the country. and they're not cheap, and they have multiple lawyers across the country working on this, and we've seen a lot of implementation of that, but unfortunately I have no indication of knowing exactly how much it is, but it has to be millions at this point with over 250 campaigns.
Yeah, or if not tens of millions. Will Westlake,
exactly.
Yeah, Will Westlake in Buffalo. How are your customers dealing with this? You talked about having to shut down the store for 5 days as a result of the anti-organizing campaign. I think I don't recall if it was you or Maggie just mentioned that one of your stores is on strike right now. Are you getting support from your customers, or does the American public just view organizing campaigns as an annoyance?
So overwhelmingly across the country, Starbucks customers support the workers, the baristas who serve them coffee, and not the corporate officers in Seattle who have been shown to be irresponsible with the way that they're treating the people that are getting their livelihoods from them. And we're really lucky in Buffalo to come from a city with a union background. It's a Rust Belt town. In the last 40 years, there's been this myth that, oh yeah, like the Rust Belt is done with unions. That's not what people in the Rust Belt want. But what we've seen is just overwhelming support from the community and a real ability that when we do launch a strike over an unfair labor practice like we did today, that the community is going to respond, they're going to support us, and they're not going to be going into that Starbucks. How
can people specifically support the work that you're doing?
Yeah, so we've been encouraging people now for a while to go into stores that are organizing. If you look up like More Perfect Union Starbucks map, it'll show you every store across the country that's filed, and that number's just getting larger every day. So, going into your local cafe and ordering a cup of coffee as either like Union Yes or Union Strong, the company's been trying to ban some of those words from the ordering system.
Really?
But at the end of the day, like when you're in a situation like I've been in or like Maggie's been in, where the manager and the district manager are pulling people off of the floor into the back to just try to isolate them and make them fear for their jobs and for their livelihoods, actually having like little tickets print out that are saying like, keep going, or like we support you, or Union Strong, whatever it is, does a lot to remind us that the world's a lot bigger than just the two managers in the back room. I confess,
Will, I am not a regular Starbucks customer. Sean is. I don't know if she got her coffee there this morning, but I don't know how that works. If I went into a Starbucks and I wanted Union Yes or Union Strong to print out on my receipt or whatever, what do I do? What do I say? How do I make that happen as a customer?
Well, I mean, first off, welcome into our cafe. We try our best to make it a pleasant experience for everybody who comes in. But, the barista will ask you for a name for the order, and you'll just be able to give it. And
so as your name, so I could say, my name is not Tom, my name is Union Strong.
Exactly.
Very, very cool. Maggie Carter in Knoxville, Tennessee. One of the things that is just so great is that you and Will can sit here and talk to us about some of the nasty stuff your employer is doing. If you were not members of a union that had been certified by the National Labor Relations Board, I'm guessing that you would be immediately fired for speaking out like this. Can you speak to that issue?
Absolutely. Yeah. There was, we here in Tennessee, there were 7 workers who announced their campaign out of Memphis, Tennessee on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and they were terminated subsequently for minor infractions that we all commit on a regular basis, silly issues that are just being over-punished in the wake of union organizing efforts. So we have definitely seen fear for, being terminated or being fired. And not only just the Memphis 7, we've seen multiple partners. I think the list is over 20 at this point across the country of organizers who have been wrongfully terminated at the hands of this corporation. And so it's definitely been a point of each conversation that I've had in Tennessee, the fear for being terminated, but ultimately the solidarity always wins.
Yeah, there you go. Will Westlake and Maggie Carter. Will in Buffalo, New York. Maggie in Knoxville, Tennessee. Both of them baristas at Starbucks. Will is a member of the National Organizing Committee of Starbucks Workers United in Buffalo. SBWorkersUnited.org is the website and the Twitter handle. And W.O. Westlake, also one of the Twitter handles. Will, Maggie, thank you so much. Keep up the great work.